video. Have a good day. The beautiful thing about having two teenage daughters that both go to the same school is that the one that drives can take the other one to school and you don't have to. Except for every single time that it doesn't work because she has National Honor Society meetings or show choir or has to go to work, and then one of us has to take the youngest to school. You gotta love the high school student parking lot. Thank you. You too. There are 5 people living in our house. 4 of them can drive, which helps, but it doesn't make it any less chaotic. My middle daughter has a performance this week at a show called Night of Broadway, and so there's a lot of rehearsals leading up to that performance. So I think if we can just get to Friday, things will slow down a little bit. I mean, this is what our calendar looks like, and this isn't the craziest week I've ever seen. In fact, I wanted to make this video a couple of weeks ago, but my youngest daughter was getting ready for a horse show, and there was no time for anything. It's at least starting to slow down just enough that I can do this. So the first thing that we did is that when the kids were younger, we tried to be very intentional and very controlled in what activities our kids were in and just the amount of activities that we were doing as a whole. Like, it's this Pandora's box. You're trying to be very careful about how that lid comes off, because once it comes off, it doesn't take very much for it to just completely just run havoc throughout the house. So knowing that, we just tried to be very careful with every yes that we threw on the table. And that meant that if we had one kid that was currently in dance, maybe another kid that could be in baseball didn't get a chance to be in baseball. Maybe for this moment, it's this kid's turn. And then the next moment, it's this other kid's turn. As the kids get older, they get their own mobility and they kind of create their own lives and start doing their own things. Like maybe they take a class that has activities, concerts or whatever that are outside of the normal classroom time. Or they agree to babysit a family that's in your church. So for us, what we did is we created these calendars that all sync on our devices. Like I have a calendar that has all my appointments. My wife has a calendar for all the things that she does. There's a calendar specifically for kids' activities. And then there's a calendar for family events. So we're all going to grandma's house. We also make our kids put their own stuff in the calendar, and they'll even send us invites to things that they have on their calendar so that we know, even if it doesn't affect us, meaning we don't have to take them there, whatever. It's just good to know who's where and who's available to maybe help out someone else. And then 3, especially in seasons like this where it seems like everything is coming to a head, we'll have these weekly, sometimes daily meetings where we pull everyone in the family together in a room and just talk through the next week, the next day, who's picking up who's going to school with who, and try to discover any logistical issues before you discover them in the moment. Oh, and you remember when I said that my daughter's performance was on Friday? Come to find out, it's Saturday. Now, a question that comes up is, when are your kids old enough to have a cell phone that can, among many things, sync up calendars together? And in the case of our kids, we had each one of them sign a cell phone contract. We made a video about that. If you want to check it out, it's right here.